So welcome back to another video. I wanted to bring back in my friend Krista Cupp, who was in a prior video with us, and I wanted to talk about the whole concept of value building. We harp on that on this channel, but I wanted to get just one other person's perspective on how to do it, different strategies that she's seen people do, and understanding how with MI Homes, which Krista is a sales rep for MI Homes, we want to see how she's seen people do it over the past 19 years, right?
Yep.
Okay. So first of all, welcome again, Krista.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. For those who don't know, yes, we're dressed in the same shirts as the last video because we're shooting them all at the same time. But we have to make it seem like. Okay, so Krista, you know that I am an equity chaser, right?
Yep.
And my clients, generally my clients, come in looking to chase an equity position.
That's right.
Right? So I won't ask Krista to get into the pricing of this is priced horribly with us,
Yeah.
but I will talk about some of the things that generally people don't do with builders. So someone comes in and wants to build a deck.
Yes.
MI doesn't build decks.
We do, but our decks are cedar decks. You know, they're probably not what most people are doing nowadays. So a lot of times I'll tell everybody our patios are the best price that you're going to find. If you're going to do a patio, do a poured concrete patio through me. Decks, I'm probably going to tell you should do it on your own after close.
Right. Appliances.
Yep. Kind of depends. That's like a
Kind of
50-50,
sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes
Depends
here,
on what
sometimes
appliances
there.
the customer wants. If they want high-end appliances, I'm probably going to tell them, look at the appliance pricing. We offer credit for our standard appliances. If they just want our level 1 GE stainless appliances, I may tell them, hey, this is a good price.
So let's say someone's building on your high end. You call it what, your Regency series? Is that, well, Showcase is the high end.
Yeah, Showcase is pretty much gone now. So our higher end would be like the Regency, then Signature.
So someone comes in, they're building a Regency home, they're building it up in Dublin. They have a great location up in Jerome Village. Beautiful location. I just had a drone up there. Look at some other videos and you'll see it. They want to go in with Wolf appliances, which that series of home would support.
Sure, you're going to see that probably in a lot of the homes.
Does MI offer that option to go to that high end?
We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's some stuff that I'll tell you when we're pricing out a house together, we just simply don't offer it.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Conversely, though, someone wants to go in with pretty stuff.
Sure.
Like more designer stuff. Barn doors and things like that. On your normal series of homes, those choices are limited?
So we have several options in a lot of our, like I can do barn doors. I have different levels of tiles, flooring, cabinets, countertops. It really is going to be more specific to what the customer's trying to achieve.
Right. So
I have some buyers that walk in and they want to get in the community. They want to get the structural options that they can't change later. And that's all that they're looking to have in the house.
those are all my clients,
Those are
by the way.
Rich's clients. Yeah.
Krista's boss sees a contract come from me and he's like, oh man.
Now, if it were me building for myself, I want all the pretty stuff. I want the upgraded ceramic tiles. I want the barn. I don't want to have to do it later or have somebody come in and do it later.
Sure. Sure. So another one of my strategies is to be what I call first roof in a community, meaning you're in literally the first round of homes that get built. Now with MI, that typically is some spec homes you put in first.
Yes.
Just to make it look,
Yes.
the model homes going up, there's some homes going up, but the first buyer in the community really gets the best deal, right?
That's right.
So let's say someone comes in and they're the first buyer in the community. Number one, they get choice a lot of the first phase, right? But in addition to that, there's a little bit of a detriment though, and that is that they don't know what everybody else is going to do.
That's right.
So let's say that you want something you're going to be 100% positive of. They might not want to be first roof because they don't know what people
Yeah,
know.
there's nothing else to compare it to in the.
But let's say someone buys that first roof home from you. You don't go away just because they closed on their house, right?
No.
You can help them to understand what kind of options people are putting in. And I call it building to the community. So someone comes in, they put in a standard flooring. They're not sure whether to put in wood or LVT or leave it carpet. You could be able to help them to understand what other people have done in their homes, right?
Yep, I have that conversation with them. Or if a customer starts putting in the highest level of everything, I'll tell them like, hey guys, we're going to be at the very tip top of this community.
Right.
We maybe need to scale it back a little bit. Or people will ask, well, can I do a fireplace later? Or can I do this or that later? The beauty of me having been with the company for so long is I've priced out thousands and thousands of houses. So being able to kind of guide the customer. And I think, you do that as well for resale. Does it make sense to put in the full basement over a granite countertop, even though the granite's really pretty? So I think as a team together with a new home consultant and then Rich.
And I have to say that I've been surprised a couple of times when we go to the design center. They got a great deal on granite because they're passing it along to the customer. Other times I've gone to the design center and they want $15,000 for granite countertops, and I'm going, hold on.
Yep.
I can do this for about $6,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've told the story about my house, $23,000 for a limited choice of flooring. That was a lot. I ended up doing better flooring for $6,700. Now, I'm not saying that would be the case. It might change by month.
Sure.
So let's talk about incentives a little bit. So MI offers incentives for certain communities, just trying to get people interested. So you obviously offer a financing incentive.
We do $4,000 within my financial for prepaids and closing costs.
So basically that takes care of your expenses for your loan. Now we always want to shop loans, we never want to just blindly go into it. If you can save $10,000 by using a separate lender, let go of the $4,000 that the builder is giving you. But most of the time, the builder incentive, especially for an owner-occupied, the builder incentive is good.
Yes.
What other kind of incentives have you seen MI do over time that people might want to watch for?
Yeah. In the past, we've had, free options, free appliances. Maybe it's just specifically, $3,000 off, or, in this market, I haven't seen an incentive with us for probably a year and a half. Doesn't mean we'll never see them again. But I've seen free options. I've seen free appliances. I've seen sometimes if it's, hey, blinds on all the windows at no additional charge.
And blinds are, I just bought them.
They are not cheap. Yes.
They are rather expensive.
Yeah, you can do a couple $1,000, $3,000 for some blinds. Yeah.
Pretty quick, yeah. But here's the other thing. For those who are chasing equity, utilize people like Krista, like your realtor, to say, hey, I just got a quote for $5,000 for blinds. Who do you know?
Sure. Yep.
How many times have you been able to save people thousands of dollars?
Sure.
And it's not because we get anything out of it. By law, I'm not allowed to. Okay? And I presume you don't.
No.
Her company would go completely bonkers.
Yes, they would.
If she took a kickback. So we're not providing these kind of recommendations. Let's say someone moves into their house and like, man, I wish I would have put the granite in. I'm pretty sure the first person Krista would call would be me, because she knows I do a lot of renovation work throughout the Columbus area. I've got deals with granite places that you can't get walking in the door. I've got deals with flooring places you can't get walking in the door. The idea is to be able to balance what makes sense for the builder to do, and then what fits your skill set, number one, your tolerance level, number two, and number three, cost-wise.
That's right, your budget.
I mean, it's great to say I want to put in granite countertops after I close. When you've got 5 kids,
Yes.
and all of them have their things going on, now all of a sudden you've got a timing thing. It might be worth it.
Yeah, sometimes you're solely paying for the convenience of having it done.
Right. And other times, like I'm doing a patio, you might be able to do a patio while going to all the kids' ball games and all the stuff and all those kind of things.
It's going to be each person's needs, wants, budget, timeline, schedule, all that.
So someone comes in the door and says, Krista, I saw you on this video, and I want to price out a high equity home.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
You don't get paid any different on it. So you're just as excited to see them
Sure.
as you are seeing someone that wants all the bells and whistles, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
I would argue that, for me, I would rather have someone who's value conscious because they'll refer me 12 people. They'll be like, dude, you want to really know how to do it, talk to Krista, talk to Rich, But if someone came walking in the door and they're like, I want that high equity position, where does your brain go?
I mean, so value-wise,
Yeah.
structural options, not a lot with a $20,000, $30,000 premium on it. I think like I said before, I think getting into the community with the biggest square footage with the structural options, depending on what the budget is, I think is huge.
So you mentioned lot premium. That might be a new concept for some of these folks.
Yeah.
So in a community, let's take your community here.
Yep.
Okay. Someone is on a good lot at a zero premium.
Yes, so we have good, better, and best in all of our locations. A good lot's going to be a lot that still gives you some yard, a lot that you can still fence. You've got usable space there, and it's probably going to cost you anywhere between $0 and $5,000. And then each location's different. Some of the lots that we have back to heavy mature trees, some back to ponds, some back to, forests of trees. I've got some lots in here that go a mile trees behind them. Those can go upwards of $55,000, $60,000.
So if someone's looking for high equity, they don't necessarily want to go up against the mile worth of trees for 60 grand.
That's right.
Because I can tell you as an agent, you're not going to get 60,000 in value. Now, with all that being said, yes, yours truly paid a hefty premium for a lot.
It's gorgeous.
That backs onto a pond, that backs onto trees, okay? But I chose that because it's my last house.
Sure.
If I was looking to build equity, I wouldn't have paid what I paid premium for my lot. And for what it's worth, that was $50,000 extra on top of the cost of my house, just to have the view of the pond, just to have the view of the trees. I can tell you that I didn't get $50,000 worth of value
Sure.
from that lot. So if you're looking to do that equity play. So let's say someone comes into the community and they build a home, whether they're first roof or whether they're later on. You've surely seen people that maybe have sold after a couple of years.
I have. Yes.
And then you turn around and sold them another house.
Yes, yeah. I had a homeowner in my Minerva Park location last year that bought their first house right when the community opened. It was this 2.5-year community, so we opened it for sale and she bought a house. And then a year and a half later, she came back to me and she's like, Krista, I want to buy another house. I'm like, okay, great, where? She's like, in here. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's a new one for me. I've never heard that. I've heard people selling after 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
and just because she was like, I need the house that I built with you the first time is a little bit small. I need something bigger, and I know I can make money on this house. That was the same person, 2 houses in one community. So
literally would have been within blocks.
That's right. Within,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an extreme example.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people that are like, well, I hate to move.
Yeah.
Until I say, well, if I would pay you $60,000 every 2 years to move. I know you hate to move.
Oh, gosh.
But
That's horrible. It's the worst part of the process.
But I'm going to pay you $60,000 every 2 years to move.
I really hate to move.
$100,000.
Maybe.
See, everybody has a price. If you knew how much Krista hates to move, you would really, truly appreciate that everyone has a price. Everyone. If I offered her $200,000, she would do
sold.
it. But, so just to explain the strategy on this, when someone first moves into their home after it's been built new, what are their taxes the first year here in Central Ohio?
So they're not fully assessed, but that's not raw ground either. They get a break. It depends on the community and the area, but they're not paying that fully assessed tax yet.
Right. So in other words, they get discount taxes.
They do.
It's oversimplified, calling it discount taxes, but
Yeah.
it's discount taxes. For those who own a home for 2 years, the rule is that if you lived in that house for 2 out of 5 years, no capital gains. So for those who are investor oriented, capital gains is the bane of existence for investors, right? If you stay in it 2 years, you're free to sell it. There's a couple of exceptions, but unless you're making a boatload of money, they're probably not building in an MI community if they're making that much money.
Right.
But zero capital gains, and you go do it again. And actually, a lot of people, what percentage of people would you say enjoy, not tolerate or like, but what percentage enjoy the process of building their home?
Oh, geez. It's a loaded question.
Yeah. I know, that's why I'm here.
I mean, I would say a big amount. I mean, a pretty large amount of people enjoy it. You know, it's not a perfect process by any means, but overall, the majority.
I'm talking about the ones that are out at the lot at least once a week.
Oh,
you know,
they're
those
their
kind
own
of
worst
things.
enemy. I love them dearly, but they're their own worst enemy. Yeah, I mean.
But I'm talking about somebody who really enjoys the process, and I mean, you and I share a client that has built 7 times
We do.
with MI Homes.
Yeah.
Now, the last one he built was an investment property, but he built 6 of his own homes with MI prior to that. So if someone came into your community and said, hey, I want to be here 2 years, and I'm going to sell again, okay? Does that give you a different view than if someone says, I want to live here until I
completely
die?
different conversation.
What kind of things would you tell the person that wants to live for 2 years and in the community for 2 years and then use it as a springboard to...
Yeah, I think some of the same things we've been talking about, you know, looking at lots, what are the premiums, where are we spending our money, what's the most popular floor plan, is this a community that's got families in it, is this a ranch or an empty nester community, you know, what kind of things should we be looking at so that we know when you're ready to flip it or turn it that we have maximum, you know, we're able to sell it.
Cool. Okay, anything else that we should add to this conversation for that high equity chaser?
I don't think so. I think you covered it all.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully you're finding these videos to be enjoyable, and if you are, please smash that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. This is information they don't teach you in school, and we really, really enjoy providing this information to you. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.